like I was saying, and don't tell anybody this, Tom,
No.
but per source that I've got, the reason the Patriots cut Stephon Gilmore is because last year when he put his face right next to Patrick Mahomes' face, he failed to give him COVID, and for the Patriots, he didn't do his job that week. So
you know what? That
he failed.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of GPS, the Grossi Perna Show. It's more the Grossi Perna experience.
It is an experience for sure.
A religious one, a spiritual one, a sexual one. But, ladies and gentlemen,
two bodies become one.
Oh, yes, baby. Brandon Perna, right there. Doing
Tom
his hair.
Grossi, right there.
Oh, it's this way, but it's all right. We'll get it.
We'll get it.
We'll get it. It's fine. It's fine. We'll get it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a freaking show. We got breaking news right off the bat. We got people getting released. We got craziness about. We're checking the Twitters just to see if anyone's gonna sign Stephon Gilmore in the next 5 seconds. You got Davante Adams under Stephon Gilmore's post on Instagram saying, "Call me."
Ooh. Davante Adams going after it, huh?
Oh, my man's reaching into those. He's sliding into those DMs, and he's like, "Hey, Gilmore, you up? You up, girl?" And of course, while everyone else is here, we got our power rankings, the both of us.
Oh, yeah.
Brandon Perna and I. And more importantly, who will Brandon Perna curse this week at the number one? Because the curses have worked every single week. And so we'll check out that, and maybe we'll even talk about a little Thursday night football. But Brandon Perna, how you doing, baby?
Good. My curse lives on. I'm 3 for 3. It's a power I never knew I could wield, and I'm just happy that I can single-handedly topple entire football organizations. This week, though, was tough. Maybe you already know because you watched my power rankings. Maybe you watched Tom's. I'm hoping you're watching both, so you have context for our power ranking comparisons. But I had to be true to the ranks of power, and that kind of hurt me this week because I don't want to curse this team. But we'll get to that. Stephon Gilmore. Basically, I woke up and saw he had been released, and then basically I saw every Packers fan on earth wanting him. And right now, your video looks very pixelated.
Like crap, right? I noticed that too. It looks fine on StreamYard again, but mine looks like poopy caca.
Right now. It looks all pixelated on my end now. Look at us having some technical difficulties.
Great. This is going well. I'm plugged in. I'm hardwired in. What
is happening? Internet?
I don't know. This is not good though, and I'm not happy about this. Okay. All right. Do I still look like I look like trash? Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't know what.
Should I remove you from the stream and you come back in?
Kick my ass out. Kick my ass out and introduce to this next segment.
Okay.
Kick me out.
Bye, Tom. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Perna Show. Oh, shoot. Oh, God. So we do. Oh, my God. I miss Tom so much right now. Please come back, Tom. Stephon Gilmore. He's going to go to one of the following teams. The Buccaneers, the Patriots. No, not the Patriots. They just cut him. Hold on, Stephon Gilmore Possible landing spots: the Buccaneers, the Packers, the Cowboys, the Chiefs. All of those teams may sign Stephon Gilmore. Now, here's the kicker. Now, everybody's just guessing at this point. Technically, Stephon Gilmore could be traded still because he won't officially be released until 2 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, for whoever pays attention to that shit. So maybe the Patriots release the news that they're going to release him, and then they get a team who wants to not compete for Gilmore, and then they bring him in. A possibility. But what I wanted to say is basically the way you figure out which NFL teams might be going after Stephon Gilmore is pretty simple. You don't need any sources like Schefter or Ian Rappaport have. No. You do not need those ever. Oh, my God. Thank God.
How bad was it?
It was rough at first, Tom, but I think I don't know. I felt like the show got pretty good after a while.
The show got better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So do you want me to just leave like forever?
No, if you could just be quiet for the next 30 minutes, I think I got it covered.
Okay.
Okay. What I was about to say, though, it's actually nice to have you back, Tom. I was telling everybody the way you figure out which team might go after Stephon Gilmore, you don't need sources.
No.
You just need to look up which defenses are shit against the pass. Right now, you've got the Buccaneers, you've got the Cowboys, you got the Jags, who've got bigger problems to solve. Washington, sneaky team. Seattle, Kansas City, New Orleans, Rams. Okay, I think Buccaneers, Cowboys, Seahawks, Chiefs. I actually think the 49ers are a possibility.
Involved.
Teams that will consider Stephon Gilmore, because we know the 49ers and the Seahawks both were interested in Richard Sherman. Both of those teams' biggest flaws, the 49ers, they've got a lot of flaws. They're trying to figure out quarterback, but they're struggling in the secondary. So I think you just look at which competitive teams have a really bad secondary and which teams will go after a player, and it's the ones I just mentioned. I don't think Washington football team would be in play.
I don't think they're honestly in play. Did you say the Green Bay Packers? Because I think the Green Bay Packers are very much in contention for Stephon Gilmore.
They are, for sure. I did not say them right there, but like the Packers, their passing defense not as horrible as some of those other teams that I just mentioned. Now, some people will be like, oh, cap space. The Buccaneers can't afford him. Doesn't matter. They will figure it out. They'll just cut somebody else, free up some space, and that's the real issue. Gilmore wants a lot of money. He wants like $15 million a year. That's a big reason the Patriots cut him.
Sure.
So, I know you already got a whole video up about this on your channel, Tom. You are a fracking machine.
I woke up this morning and I saw it, and I was like, time to get to work. We fed the dogs. We took them out and didn't even have time to poop. Literally just got going. Yeah, I think Stephon Gilmore, and I broke this down on the channel. I'm talking about why it kind of makes sense for the Packers. Let me put it this way. It makes sense why they should sign him. Like 100%, because, you have a emerging rookie corner in Eric Stokes, who looks good. He's still a rookie, though. Kevin King is currently out. Jair Alexander, and we'll talk about this.
Wait, when is Kevin King actually fully in?
Yeah, that's also true. That's also true. I will say that with Jair, today we're supposed to get an update on what his injury is, and apparently they were seeking out multiple opinions, which some people were like, this is good because maybe they could do something. Other people were like, that's usually bad because if it was something not serious, they just need the one opinion and have a nice day.
They're like, the team doctor's like, this probably 8 weeks maybe jeopardizes the season, and then the team's like, let's see what another doctor says. Let's see what a shittier doctor says, in hopes that he can come back sooner rather than later.
They're doing their own research.
It's a shoulder, right? You said it's like an AC joint.
Yeah, possibly? It's an AC joint in the shoulder. So,
and I tried to reassure you about that, I believe.
Yeah, because they basically, some reports that I saw said that he could play safety if he plays like with a brace. But the Packers are known for being super conservative with injuries. I mean, like you had MVS who had a bad hammy, and they're like, just sit down. They put him on short-term IR, keeping Kevin King out. Elton Jenkins as well. Elton Jenkins said, he's like, I want to play. But I think that they definitely are going to play it safe because, one, he's one of their best players. And two, I think it's a matter of you need him for the long term. And the next 3 games that we have are no walks in the park, but it's possible to win them without him. So if they'll let him heal, that'll be big.
Yeah, because Gilmore was on the physically unable to perform list.
He's on the PUP list.
The PUP. And he was supposed to be ready to come back after week 6. So
just like David Bakhtiari.
Yeah. So maybe a team doctor for a different organization's like, no, Gilmore, you can play right now, buddy. Let me just give you a little shot in the, I believe all the pain killing shots they give him have to be administered through the grundle. So that's just medical science.
That's just facts, folks.
Okay. So it wasn't just Stephon Gilmore who was released. We're going to talk about some players we think might be released.
Sure.
And honestly, I was trying to match the thumbnail because I was like, who gets cut next? Trying to lure you guys in with a little clickbait.
It was difficult.
But literally 5 minutes after we started writing that, Anthony Miller gets released by the Texans, which is a big release because Anthony Miller was good with the Bears when they had Trubisky and Foles passing to him. So I think that's an under-the-radar sort of release. But also, Jaylon Smith, linebacker, big release by the Cowboys yesterday.
Yep.
We tried not to, it's Cowboys, so we kind of ignore it. Stephon Gilmore, much more sexier position. But Jaylon Smith, not a fit with Dan Quinn's defense. And I'm not going to judge Dan Quinn because he actually has the Cowboys defense playing better. But I think Jaylon Smith's probably a fit for a lot of teams. I'm sure people were like, Jaylon Smith to the Packers, Tom?
Yeah, I got a lot of that last night. my DMs were going off, and I was like, why? What happened now? And then I saw that. So, yeah, I mean, I'll be completely honest. And any other planet, I'd be like, yeah, go for a linebacker. But what I will say is that Jaylon Smith has not really looked great this season. He hasn't looked too stupendous. And on top of that, I will say Devondre Campbell has been paying that guy $2 million. That guy's crushing it on the Packers right now. Would you be able to bring in a guy like Smith that maybe he helps out and allows Campbell to do even more? Potentially. But as I said, even in the Stephon Gilmore video, the Packers need to kind of decide what they want right now. In that right now you're missing your top pass rusher, and Rashawn Gary did real well. He was pressured. I think he pressured over 70% of his snaps or some crazy number last week. But you're losing your top pass rusher. You might be out without your top corner. Which one do you want to address? Right. I think that if they go after Gilmore, you're basically saying, listen, we know our pass rush isn't going to be godly this year, but our secondary is going to be able to make up for it, especially when Jair or hopefully I'm of the person, maybe because we're not going to be able to get Gilmore because he wants a long-term deal, right? You were just talking about that. Yeah. The reason why him and the Patriots parted ways, they couldn't agree on it. This is the final year of his contract. And so they're like, listen, we can't come to a deal. So I think that we can't offer that to him. We can't offer that to Gilmore. We have $7.2 million in cap this year. And then next year we're going to die. So in terms of the cap, so it would take a lot of finagling to do. And you could be like, hey, come win a ring with Aaron Rodgers. But the Buccaneers could offer that to him too. And so can the Chiefs, and I think that, and even the Cowboys, you could make an argument for. So I think that the Packers are kind of down there. And I think that if you're going to use that cap, maybe you invest in a veteran pass rusher just because, we don't know if we're going to see Z back at all. But it all depends on what Jair's injury actually is.
Yeah, there's a lot of question marks for Green Bay. Good corners are hard to find. I guess, how good is Stephon Gilmore still?
Yeah.
I feel like the Patriots aren't going to pay a quarterback for a while. You got a cheap guy in Mac Jones. Usually when the Patriots are willing to let a guy go, that's a sign
they're
done.
He's
done, or at least Bill thinks he's done.
Yeah.
Maybe he was wrong about Tom Brady there, but I like Gilmore. The reason the Patriots didn't want to give him a long-term deal is exactly why he's not playing right now. You start to get to a certain age, injuries start to be a little more prevalent, and maybe you think he lost a step, but also the Patriots have good corners behind him. So I think Gilmore still has some good football left in him. So any team that goes after him and actually gets him probably gets an upgrade there. The Buccaneers really do need Gilmore. I feel like the Buccaneers probably feel like they wish
Can you imagine they
waited
cut
another
Sherman?
week instead of signing Richard Sherman.
They just cut Sherman after one game. They're like, sorry, bud. Nah, I'm bringing my boy Gilmore home.
That would be ruthless. Ruthless.
And I'm just picturing Richard Sherman's face when there's the interception in the Super Bowl. Just when they cut him.
But the Bucs could have an issue when their guys get healthy of having too many players, and then they got to cut them. So you don't want to overcommit to a guy like Gilmore.
Sure.
Chiefs could use him. I saw somebody say the Buffalo Bills. That would be a nice ad for Buffalo.
Ooh.
I don't know if they have the money. And the Bills aren't a team like the Chiefs or the Rams who just don't even give a shit about the cap and then turn no money into money. So I don't see that, but Gilmore started his career there.
Rams are going to trade their next 18 first-round picks for Stephon Gilmore. And they're just going to be like, screw it. Like we saw what what Kyler Murray was able to do to us on Sunday. Let's just throw in more money.
Yeah, and in my power rankings, like one of the points we brought up was that the Rams' depth behind Jalen Ramsey might be getting exposed. So the Rams are a team who could use them. There's players of this caliber getting released at this point. It doesn't happen often.
Correct.
So like I think Anthony Miller is like an underrated receiver, and I think a good team can utilize him. But he's not a name like Stephon Gilmore. No. He's not even a name like Jaylon Smith. And these were in back-to-back days. So it's just kind of crazy that teams will let guys go who are this good. I love how unpredictable the NFL is sometimes.
It's wild.
And we know the Patriots were trying to trade Gilmore, so it's not like a shock, but before they even get him back in the lineup, just be like, nah, we couldn't get the trade value we wanted, so we're just going to release him. And they're probably doing that as a favor to him. It's not like,
Well, my question is, okay, if you can't come up with a long-term deal, is that there's like a couple schools of thought here. Okay, if you can't come up with a long-term deal, meaning that this is his last year, it's done, right? Why are you not keeping him the rest of the year? He's under contract. Is it a concern that he's going to sit out? Or is it a concern of he's injured? Because that's what they said. They didn't want to commit that long-term money to him without seeing him play because he was injured. And other teams were scared off of his injury, but that's why they didn't trade for him, which they still technically could, right, until like 2 p.m. Yeah. But like I think that those questions have to be in your mind as well, because like the Patriots, they know what they're doing. Like they are, unfortunately, they are a competent organization in that term. So I feel like if you are not willing to keep him on the roster, I mean, do you really think the Patriots are going to be like, you know what, Gilmore, this is for you, buddy. Yeah, go off and have a nice season somewhere. I don't know about that.
They walked away from Brady, so
they did, but that's what I mean. They finished out the contract. Like here, they could have just like kept him. I know that they get some cap space that's freed up here. I think it was like 5.8 mil for the Patriots. Like they free that up. So maybe they could do stuff with that before the trade deadline. But I think it's just like a little like, okay, does it mean the injury is worse than, what we know about? Or is it a matter of like, he wants a long-term deal? And then again, the Packers are not going to be involved in that conversation then because we really can't.
Yeah, maybe it's just like the Patriots also realize their season is going nowhere.
I mean, maybe.
It is. They're going to be somewhat competitive, but they're a beatable team. They played a great defensive game against Brady and the Bucs, but they knew how to game plan that. I'm not sold on the Patriots.
Yeah, I do think Gilmore will get signed, though.
The interest
in get signed
is already
like by the end of the week, if not by the end of the day.
Yeah, like if it takes a while to sign him, it's because he's thinking about where he wants to go next.
He's going to have options.
There's not interest.
Well, that's the thing. Like, that's why you said like Washington. Washington, I don't think are contenders. They can have all the cap space. They can have all the needs they want. But I think like he wants that combination, and he can choose between like I want a competitive football team that could actually win a Super Bowl this year, and on top of that, can give me a long-term deal. And I think that while the Packers could offer him the Super Bowl, I don't think they can offer him the long-term deal. The Buccaneers, they could make something work, but as you said, do they even go for him? Because he is 31. I mean, he's my age. God, he's basically a dinosaur. So I feel like at that point, you need to then look at, all right, who has the cap to give him a long-term deal and also offer him like that competitiveness and opportunity to win a ring.
They're saying check Dov Kleeman's Twitter. Let's see here. Oh, Tommy boy. Let me.
Oh! Stephon Gilmore wants to play for the Packers. Oh, according to Albert Breer. Oh, no. Oh, baby.
Let me pull that up just to get the visual. Woo! Stephon Gilmore wants to play for the Packers, according to Albert Breer.
Come home. Go to Papa.
Mama, I'm coming home. I'll retweet that shit. Boom. At Brandon Perna, just like my name
says. What's that garbage say underneath it? What's that garbage underneath it? On the Bucs front, most recent Instagram files for Gilmore are Bruce Arians. No, not Bruce Arians. No.
And Jason Licht.
I don't know who the hell that is, but no.
The general manager of the Bucs. So this is going to be a two-way race between the Bucs and the Packers.
This is my nightmare.
Oh, we're getting tagged in this too, Tom.
Oh, I know, buddy. Oh, this is my nightmare.
Thank you, Jordan.
This is my nightmare. If we lose Stephon Gilmore to the Buccaneers, I can't. I don't think I can survive another. No, it's gonna be another loss. Yeah, we're getting tagged in this hard. Yeah, this is something.
Two-way race, dude. He's gonna go to the Packers.
He thinks
I think he doesn't want to help Tom Brady anymore, based on no information that I have.
Just like, you think that after...
Thanks, Shaky Warrior. That was your comment I saw that took me to Twitter.
Oh, no. I see, now this is the problem, because now I'm going to get too hyped. I'm going to get too excited. I got to put predictions out already today. I'm going to do another Stephon Gilmore video. Oh, God.
It won't happen today. You got time to breathe.
Okay.
Have it ready for when he does sign, and then boom, you can upload.
Boom. Just make up all the logistics. It'd be like, he signed a 9-year, $18 kajillion contract. He's playing until he's 50 years old. He said, screw you, Tom Brady.
They just care that he got signed, and they want to see you hyped. Okay, so let's talk about some other players who may become available, Tom, because anything is possible in the NFL. So Anthony Miller, already released by the Texans. Here's a guy, might be available very soon. Urban Meyer.
Dude.
Can
we talk about this? Like,
not a player, but a coach.
I mean, I know, by the way, they had that on McAfee's show. And did you see that about his balls being deflated?
Oh, no.
There was a comment that was made, and truly it was phenomenal. Basically, they were talking about like, oh, he did it in his own bar, like, and underneath a picture of his wife and him, because it was at Urban Meyer's bar.
Yeah, I saw the picture of him and his wife in the bar.
Yep. Yeah.
It's like a giant banner too. It's not just like a photo.
It's enormous.
It's branding.
It's enormous. But they were all talking about it, and Ty Schmidt goes, everyone's talking about Urban Meyer's heart, how that's not too good. But he's got to ice his balls because it completely deflated because he blew his load during that happening. And Pat McAfee just loses his mind and starts dying laughing. But in real life, though, all the reports coming out, though, that like he addressed like individual like positions, like within the organization, within the team, and he didn't like talk to the entire team, but he was getting like laughed at like after meetings and stuff, and like he does no respect in that locker room, and I'm like, it's been like 4 weeks, literally 4 weeks. And like this man seems to have lost that team completely. Like, how do you even respect? Like, how do you even keep him? And the Jacksonville Jaguars, I love the tweet that you put out that was saying like, oh, his actions were inexcusable. And you're like, isn't this kind of excusing it though?
They're inexcusable, but we're going to give him another chance, which is fine. Like, what he did is weird. There's a weird gray area there. Like,
it's
as
not
an
football
employer,
related, but it's like,
yeah, like I'm never going to do that. You're like,
yeah,
I get it. It's like a moral issue. It's not a legal thing. It's not like he broke a law. Like, you're just being an old douchey, creepy dude. And like, you know, whatever. He wasn't even like doing anything wrong in terms of like being a creepy old man. It seems like this girl was into him. He was just enjoying the attention. I get that. The problem, which like I did a video last night about it, is the Jags are losing. And so far, everything he's done as a Jags coach has been criticized.
Correct.
Had they been winning right now, this would have been like a funny thing. People just wrote off as, oops, yeah, he got caught. But this team's like, whatever Urban's got to do to keep these Jacksonville
Which
Jaguars
is terrible in
winning,
of itself, but yeah, I guess
whatever. Like,
you're not wrong.
It's that they're losing. They haven't won a single game. It's that he's made a lot of mistakes, or at least like questionable decisions as a head coach. And it's because he wasn't with the team. Like, you go home after you lose instead of flying back with your team. That is weird. That is really weird. And it's like, it takes a guy like Urban, who's had a ton of success at the college level, to have the type of ego to think like he doesn't need to go back with this team. Like, yeah, I'm just going to go with my family. And he believes he has the Jags locker room. Like, if you listen to his interviews, he's like, I've got a great relationship with my players, with the locker room. And then you hear these reports that he doesn't. It's like, what's true? Because if you don't have that,
you're done.
How's he going to get it back?
Well, it's like Washington, right? And like the culture being like really damn good. And then the FBI's raiding you. But it's shocking to me. And McAfee, and because it was Aaron Rodgers Tuesday yesterday.
Yeah. The funniest thing I saw there was Rodgers talking about when he thought he got tripped.
Yeah.
Like, he did get tripped. And then he's like, they all kept telling me I tripped over myself. And I started to believe it for a second. And then I got really down on myself. It's like, is this what my life's coming to? I'm tripping over my own feet. And he's like, then I saw it on the Jumbotron, heard the boos, and I was like, oh, they got me.
Yeah. Had they like an existential crisis of like, what have I become?
I love Rodgers so much. Like, just when he's so honest and talks about those moments, it's like, why I want him to be my quarterback next year.
I know you do. I know.
Anyway.
But they were saying they because McAfee brought it up with Rodgers, and Rodgers said one of the biggest differences between coaching in college and coaching in the NFL is in college, you call him coach. Like, you call the coach. And there's kind of like that superiority kind of like, hey, like, I have your career in my hands kind of thing. And then in the NFL, you call them by the first name or their last name. And it's like, again, he's like, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but there's a respect thing that's there. It's like, hey, we're all professionals. As we said, like, we're all professionals. We're all getting paid to do this thing. And like, if you're Urban Meyer coming in and you're just like, oh yeah, like, I still have that superiority thing, that's not going to work out well in any locker room.
No, you got grown men who
it's a bad football team too. Like, it's a bad football team made up of a lot of veterans who have come over from other teams and stuff who are like playing. They're like, let's just get some money while we possibly can. Like, they're like, nah, like this is not how it's going to roll.
Yeah. It's like, you're jeopardizing my ability to make more money, to feed my family, to like move my career forward. If we're bad, like, that makes it harder for me as a player. And you see this happen all the time. And it's not like it's easier for Urban to get the trust and respect of the rookies, the young players coming in, because they don't have that NFL experience yet. But the vets on that team, they ain't falling for no bullshit. And like, if you're a bad coach, if you're canceling meetings so you can apologize, like, you're taking away from their ability as a team to prepare for their next game.
Correct.
And the Jags had, some extra days off because they played on Thursday. Good head coaches are utilizing every second of that extra time to prepare for next, especially when you're losing.
Even if it's rest, like it's just like, hey, like take a rest day. But if you're canceling meetings because of this BS, like then it becomes a football issue.
Yeah.
Right. Because then it is.
And the craziest part is like the Jags were starting to look like they're starting to play a little bit better, starting to get something going. Like they put up a fight against the Bengals on Thursday night, but
they did.
I think this takes out the team might respond to this to like just prove Urban Meyer wrong. Like we got to come together as a team so this distraction doesn't define us, or it's just like, I would say tank their season, but it's already tanked.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be more of the same. I don't know what will happen after this, but it is a weird situation for sure.
Yeah. Urban Meyer's a weird dude. But yes, could be released. Another guy on this list, speaking of head coaches, do we think Matt Nagy's going to get fired through this season? Not getting Justin Fields murdered back there, which was nice, but they came away with the win. It is against the Lions. Sorry, Lions, but it's against the Lions. Talking to Bears fans, they want him fired. They don't think it's going to happen during the season. They think it would happen after.
Don't know.
I think if it gets that bad, they might.
The Bears, they're 2-2 right now.
Without David Montgomery for a few weeks now, too.
Yeah, they just got him going. And you were the first guy to be like, look, David Montgomery was having a game. He was running the ball well. This was week 1. You're like, why did they stop running with David Montgomery? So shout out to Tom Grossi, ladies and gentlemen, all over that. And Nagy gave up play calling last week, right? Again, the most that he would be willing to admit, he gave it up.
Yep.
But if they stay with that, if Andy Dalton, once he gets healthy, if Nagy starts him over Fields, fans will be pissed.
No, he said, if Andy's healthy, he's our starter.
Look, if he does that, then I think Bears brass be like, all right, we'll let Bill Lazor call the plays. We'll promote somebody who can game manage the team. Like, that's what you need to be as a head coach. Sometimes head coaches learn, like, they're not equipped to call plays and be the head coach of a game.
Yeah.
And maybe a guy like Matt Nagy just needs to be an offensive coordinator, although that's been proven wrong over the last couple of years. I just don't think he has the chops to do it. So, I think the Bears should move on from him now.
Yeah, it's stuff like this. Like, you see Urban Meyer and you see, like, Matt Nagy. And I think it boggles my mind, like how a guy like Eric Bieniemy is not a head coach, like in the NFL, like, and how he keeps getting like passed over.
I've got a distorted opinion of Bieniemy because he was at CU when in the 90s, when all of the bad like sex scandal shit was happening and recruiting stuff.
Yeah.
So, whoa,
Casanova. With a
$400 donation
in Canadian monies.
That's probably like 10,000 in American.
That's $1 million in America. Saying go Packers, dropping it on this GPS morning. Woo!
Wow, Casanova. You're making me a little feeling inferior here. How do I hang with Mr. $400 Tom Grossi over here?
I quit. I retire now.
Tom's retiring.
I'm done. That's
it.
Dude,
use that to try and entice Stephon Gilmore.
I will. It's $316.44. So, Casanova, buddy, appreciate you. Thank you so much. And yes, I will be texting Stephon Gilmore right now and say, hey, buddy. I got $300
with your name on it, big dog.
I gotta wait a month because YouTube's not gonna give it to me till the 21st of November. But like, if you could hold on until then, you got $300 with your name on it.
And YouTube's gonna take a third of that, Stephon.
Oh yeah, they're gonna take. Okay, so like, I got like $250 with your name on it. So think about that, buddy.
All right, another guy who could become available, Marlon Mack. Colts trying to trade him. So
which makes sense.
Patriots were trying to trade Gilmore. If you can't get a trade partner, you might just move on from the guy. Marlon Mack, I think, is a very talented running back. And there are some teams like the Rams.
I was just about to say the Rams.
49ers.
Yep.
Injuries, 49, like teams that could use Marlon Mack. You've got Landon Collins in here, Tom.
I do. Because Landon Collins, I had it up and I restarted my computer. His contract is like insane. Like 64, a 6-year, $84 million contract. And it was like over 40 million, I think. It was like 44 guaranteed. And I think considering how poorly the Washington football team's defense is right now, like you look at a contract like that and you're like, maybe we should cut our losses here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of money. So Gilmore to the Bears. Ew, no, get out. Get out. Connor, get out. Even if it happens, get out. No. No.
I mean, they could probably use him, but everybody can use him.
They could.
It's probably still good.
They could.
Okay, so this is the last one. Then we'll move on to comparing our power rankings because God knows that's going to take a while.
That's going to take 8 years.
The Buccaneers. Holy Casanova, you sly son of a gun.
Uh-oh.
Nice.
Oh,
oh my God. Thank you. Thank you, Casanova. I'm going to leave that up here for a minute. Two guys I think could be released. If Gilmore goes to the Bucs, they got to make some room. They got to make some room for him. A player who is just buried on the depth chart right now. And Gronk's injury makes this a little bit complicated, but O.J. Howard, tight end. Oh my God. Casanova,
he's sliding into those DMs in the public. He's
Casanova, what do you do for a living, my friend?
He's like, support GPS, damn it.
I hope it's burglary and bank robbery.
He's stealing from the Chiefs cap.
Steal from the rich and give to two YouTubers who, if we're being honest, doing all right. Doing okay.
We're doing well now.
It took a while to get there, but we're feeding our family.
Looking at you, DraftKings.
Chiefs, another guy. My favorite Chief, probably. Dr. MD Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. Relegated to backup guard duty. Really just a good dude, a good person. Took off last season to help as a doctor with COVID. And if I know anything about the Chiefs, they do not want high character guys like that on their roster.
Accurate.
I feel like he could be released because like Chiefs, maybe they go after Gilmore. They got to make roster spot. That's a good player. Maybe they could trade him. Broncos have guard injuries, but it looks like Dalton Reisner will play this week. Thank God. O.J. Howard. Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, you have to say it like that or it doesn't count. So
it doesn't.
Those are some guys. Could be coming. Oh, the Chiefs activate Josh Gordon this week. So he'll be playing. That'll be interesting. Oh, and I also wanted to mention.
Oh, look at that. Brandon Perna.
Oh, my God. The handing out. Colin Underwood.
Colin dropping a 50 to Brandon Perna.
Carrie Underwood's husband, Colin. Good job, Colin. Although I could do with some better football songs from your wife, Colin.
Oh, that Sunday night, where are you?
Yes, you guys are just handing out money to him.
Gilmore to the Titans. I mean, the Titans could use a lot of things.
Oh, my God. They could use all of them.
But they just got rid of, what's-his-face? Malcolm Butler.
Yeah.
I forgot his name for a hot second. We were just talking about that, too. Yeah. Malcolm Butler getting released. So, yeah, I mean, they could. They definitely could.
Super chats coming in hot.
I got 1,000 people over on my live stream right now. We're rocking it.
Oh, Tom got it. I only got $8.99.
That's it. Tom Grossi this morning. Because it's all Stephon Gilmore news.
Yeah,
that's
you got the hot Gilmore action.
Raptor saying Gilmore to the Ravens replace Peters and Pear with Marlowe. I mean, that's the thing. We were talking about this earlier. There's so many teams that are going to be in on Stephon Gilmore.
Yeah.
So,
well, and the Ravens are interesting because they've had injuries to the corners, but they've got Anthony Averett, who played very well against Tyreek Hill, and then he did actually a pretty damn good job this last week against the Broncos. Had the final pick of the game that allowed Lamar Jackson to get those 3 rushing yards. Gilmore to the Cowboys, that could happen too.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Thank you, Garrett. We were talking about Gilmore definitely could go to the Cowboys, especially with how well Trayvon Diggs is playing.
Oh, man. Basically, I hope Gilmore doesn't sign until Friday because I think on clickbait, you pandering to Gilmore and Scooter pandering to get Gilmore to help two good teams get over the top. That might be fun.
That's called good content right there.
I did want to shout out all the teams signing kickers this week. Cody Parkey, Mr. Double Doink himself, going to the Saints.
Doink!
Joey Sly going to the 49ers as Robbie Gould pulls his dick out of socket. And Chris Blewett to the Washington football team.
Do you ever want to sign a kicker whose last name is Blewett? Like, do you ever like
on the memes? Yes.
Like he should go to who signed him?
The Washington football team.
Okay, I was gonna say because like if he went to New York again, the New York Post would be all over that and be like, Blewett
again.
That's it. Lead for MVP. I think you got Kyler Murray, Stafford, Josh Allen. I think those are like the top three that you look at if you're looking just at QBs. So Steelers just signed a tackler center. We found Tree's burner account. We found that. Wow. Thanks for joining the Grossi Posse, buddy. Appreciate you.
John Duncan Tell. The Broncos should pick up Jaylon Smith. The Broncos actually kind of a dark horse contender, I think, for Jaylon Smith. They lost Josie Jewell to injury. It's more like they just need maybe a little depth at inside linebacker.
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually an issue. They just did a great job against the Ravens against the run. Like, I don't think they're struggling in that department necessarily. I would have to look at how well Jaylon Smith plays in coverage. Maybe, little tight end coverage help. But like the Broncos' weaknesses right now aren't on defense. It's Teddy Bridgewater's health. And it's just an offense that's underperforming. But
Florida, I put a comment and I just saw it. I want to see this trade. I want this trade to actually go through at 159, in which the Patriots bring back Jimmy G. He just goes back to the Patriots.
Oh my God, Florida stomp. Yes.
Just for the cyclical nature of life.
That would be amazing.
Marlon Mack to the Ravens. I like that a lot. Matt could do real well. Jeez. Well, and demonetized. We can't show nipples, Perna.
You can show man nipple.
Oh, wait, is that on Twitch? You're not allowed to. I don't know, but they just got hacked. Gilmore to the Packers and Smith to the Broncos. Oh, you know what? I'm okay with all of that. Because it means Gilmore's going to the Packers. And White Run saying Gilmore to the Lions so they can copy the Patriots some more. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, Matt Patricia's gone, so you don't have to. He can't hurt you anymore. He can't.
Dan Campbell, Stephon, what body parts do you like to eat? Elbow, wrong answer, idiot.
That's the opening interview question for every single person. Like on draft night, some poor 20-year-old has just Dan Campbell screaming at him, "What do you like to eat for breakfast?" Like Cinnamon Toast Crunch? I don't know, man.
Yeah, I just like it's Dan Cannibal. And like the biting kneecaps was actually just like a Freudian slip. And he really wants to eat human beings. And when like draft prospects, they ask him like dumb questions during the interview. Dan Campbell's is always just like, you ever thought about what human flesh tastes like? Like, no. I mean, yes.
No, what? Dude, that seems like some hardcore projection. He's just like, listen, there's nothing like biting into the flesh of a human being.
I'm really hoping to get a Traeger grill sponsor so I can talk about human smoked meat.
I saw NBC's version of Hannibal that ran for 3 seasons, and man, did they made those thighs look good.
Thank you, Raptor.
Oh my God, I love it.
Not my favorite dinosaur raptor, but
say not your favorite dinosaur?
No. I always liked Triceratops. Call me a softie if you will.
Liked Land Before Time?
Yes.
So you liked Sarah growing up?
No. I really did not like the portrayal of Triceratops in Land
I feel like it wasn't historically accurate.
I liked the 3 horns. I was like, that dinosaur could probably, mess some other dinosaurs up.
I love it. I love it so much.
All
right. Let's get into our power rankings, bud. Now, I'm assuming you did my graphics justice after a couple.
We got our 10 through 6 here. Got my power rankings, got Tom's power rankings.
What is that?
That's your handwriting.
That's I
said, hey, Tom, why don't you give me like a sleek graphic? I'll throw it in.
I texted you. I spent hours working on a graphic, and
this is what I thought you sent me.
The capital.
Look how close our power rankings are, though.
Hold on, real quick. John gave you $50.
Oh,
gave you 50.
And he's promoting my coffee, Bench Warmer Brew, benchwarmerbrew.com. If Tom ever decides to sell tea, we will change it to benchwarmerbrew.tom. Wow. What a donation.
All right, listen.
$50? That might cover my coffee plus shipping, if I'm being honest.
Well, you know what, Perna? I had a feeling that you might have not done me well this week. And so we got Mr. John Robertson to design both our power rankings.
Hey, whoa.
And look how beautiful. Mine's on the left. Look at that. You got the logo. You got it beautiful. And then Brandon Perna's power rankings.
The Cardinals.
The Cardinals.
The Arizona Cardinals.
You know what? Let's start. We'll just alternate, I guess, and we'll just see who's look better.
You know what's funny about the Cardinals, Tom?
Cardinals
is you've got Grandpa Cardinal, right?
Yes.
The Cardinal sounds like a disease you can only get after age 70. Like, yeah, my hands hurt because of the Cardinals. I got
the Cardinals. Hey, you thought the arthritis was bad? Oh,
the Cardinals is worse.
The
it affects the ligaments.
Let's take a look. We'll get Pernas up here. Let's talk about. We do have pretty close power rankings here. Our 10 and 9 are just swapped right there. And for the people at home, just so they can see it on what it should look like, you got the Chefs and the Browns here. I feel like there doesn't need to be too much conversation here. I mean, you can explain to me why the Chiefs. I mean, I think we both had our defense. Their defense is bad. I don't think they forced a single punt against the Eagles' offense.
Against the Eagles,
yeah, it wasn't good. Their offense. Listen, offense was amazing in Tyreek Hill. And of course, Patrick Mahomes throwing freaking 5 touchdowns, Tyreek catching 3 of them. But what I said, we should give a top 10 when we get rid of Nagy, make it happen, Tom. I got you, Adam. I got you. What I'm saying though, and I've made this comparison before, but the Chiefs this year remind me of the 2011 Packers in that they had no defense. Their offense did everything. Their offense like breaking records and is doing all this stuff. They didn't really have a run game going on too much. But that's all they relied on. And it was all well and good until they played the Chiefs in the regular season, and then they got bounced out by the Giants because they had no defense. So, yeah.
Wow, Garrett. Thank you.
Appreciate you,
Garrett. Thank you for watching.
Yo, the people are crushing it today.
Today is
people showing lots of love after getting hated on the Cheesehead TV thing with AJ Dillon. Everyone hated me apparently, but getting lots of love here. Giants should go after Gilmore. I mean,
why? So he can waste the rest of his career?
Is Gilmore's just like, you know what? I want to die here and never do anything of note. Sure. I mean, he can make his money. All right. So, and then our 9 with the Browns. I mean, as we talked about already on Monday, Baker didn't play well. Defense still played really well, and the run game was still good.
Yeah. I mean, this is like the Browns are a good team because they won a football game where their quarterback had an off day. You know what I mean? Like, I think Baker's usually he's good enough to win. So you want to see a team get the W when your quarterback doesn't play well. Did not happen for the Broncos last week. So that's really on my mind.
Yeah.
All
right. Okay. Taking a look at,
Rams. We both got Rams at 8. Rams at 8. They suffer a bad, not a bad loss, but
up there. Yep. Yeah. Okay. So Rams, so the Rams at 8 there. And then the Ravens at 7. We got that there. I think we're on the same. Look at us being on the same page this week. Wow. We're crushing it.
Everybody needs to know we don't share our power rankings.
No, we do not.
No,
we don't talk to each other at all. We just
after the show's over, it's like, see ya, screw you, dude. Bye.
Yeah, screw you, dude. Yeah, up your ass. Yeah. You and your hairy nipples. But
it's like you watch a sitcom for a long time and then you find out two of the people hated each other and it was really hard for them to work together. That's Tom and I's relationship.
That's it.
We're Brady and Belichick. We're just doing this because we think we can win. We think we can win together, and personality wise, we don't click at all.
Hate each other.
Okay, yeah, Ravens. The Ravens are injured. They're banged up.
Yeah,
and they controlled the game against the Broncos. They didn't run the ball well. Lamar picked apart a pretty good defense, and there was one huge play to Hollywood Brown, but like the impressive thing was throughout the course of that game, spreading the ball around, a lot of Mark Andrews there, just doing what he doesn't get enough credit for, in my opinion, which is be a good quarterback in the pocket. And if the Ravens can beat you like that, they're maybe next to the Cardinals, the hardest team to game plan for. So
I'd agree with that.
We'll see if they continue. They've had a lot of close games, a little bit of luck, a little bit of bad luck week 1, but they could be undefeated easily.
Yeah.
All right.
I see that. Now, 6, you dropped the Tampa Bay Buccaneers down to 6. I had them at 4.
Yeah.
I
moved them up. I had them at 10 last week. So
okay. You had another graphic for this, didn't you? Or are we still on the same one? No, we're still on the same one.
Oh, I got oh yeah.
Yeah, spoilers. But all right, so yeah, I can see the Cowboys being at 6. I think that they have just they've looked really good. And I have to give credit where credit is due. The level of competition that they're playing against is good.
Dallas.
They beat your former number 1 team in the Carolina Panthers. I'm impressed with what they're doing right now.
Yeah, and they the Cowboys Panthers game was close for the first half.
Yeah.
And then Dallas scored 20 points in the third quarter. And they ran the ball well.
Yes.
Zeke had a great game. And if the Cowboys have average defensive play, can beat you with the run, then you've got Dak Prescott, who, is a dynamic quarterback, and they've got all the receiving weapons. Those are the 3 phases you want to work, and Dallas looks like they're clicking on all of them. And last season, as soon as Dak got hurt, that team crumbled. Yeah. This season, right now, it looks like he's not having to do all the work.
He doesn't have to do everything.
If you're a Cowboys fan, that's what you should be excited about. So.
Correct. If you saw, because everyone was talking about, they made that into a storyline, right? That Pollard's getting so many more touches than Zeke or whatever. I think that you saw it a little bit with the Eagles game, but this week was this is when they're both on. Zeke is still the primary featured back, getting 2 touchdowns over 100 yards. Pollard's coming in getting, I think it was 60 yards on the ground. That's what you want. Hey, switch them off. You get that thunder lightning kind of dynamic because Pollard's a little bit quicker on the outside, and you rock and roll with that.
So, oh yeah, it knowing you have Zeke or Pollard who can just rip off a big run. And Dak can beat you. It happened on, I think it was back-to-back series. Dak throws that touchdown to Amari Cooper, just a dime in the end zone.
Yep.
And then they get the ball back, and then Zeke tears off a run that gets him within the 10 again. If your team can score quickly, they can. It's good. And that's a very dumb, simple thing to say. But as somebody watching the Broncos who can't do that, it's how are we going to actually compete with teams like the Chiefs, like the Cowboys now, like the Cardinals, and the Bills? They can score 2 or 3 touchdowns in a single quarter, and you're screwed because you can't keep up with that. Yep. You just can't.
Someone was asking why the Rams dropped so low. I think it wasn't just because they lost one game. It's the way that they lost. Because if they lost in a close, tight game, I'd be okay, they'd only dropped down a little bit. But for me, and I'm not going to speak for Brandon, but I'm assuming the same thing. It's not only did their offense struggle, but their defense, which is supposed to be one of the best parts about them, let up so many yards.
Yeah.
And that was, I think, the most disappointing thing. And it just looked like on both sides of the ball, they were not functioning well.
And I said that last week where the defense should be better than it is. The Rams are winning games, but their defense is not dominating like it was last season. Maybe they'll get there, maybe they won't. But my concern is their defense. I think the offense, will figure it out, and can score a lot of points, like some of the other teams we just talked about. But yeah,
got over 2,000 people watching this, by the way.
heck yeah,
Oh,
only 2,000 short of our goal.
That's
so all of you open up another tab on a different browser and double the views.
That's
okay, we got 5 through 4. What do we got here? I got you got Chargers at 5. I got Packers.
Yep.
You got the Buccaneers at 4. I got the Cowboys.
Did you write Tom Brady as my number 4?
Yep.
Let's take a look at what the
actual.
Let's see what this looks like here. By the way, I appreciate the actual use of the Packers font for number 5, Perna. That was really kind of you to do that.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know how I did that.
So our 3 and 5s are swapped. So you're actually giving credit. Oh, this must feel weird. You were giving a lot of credit to the LA Chargers there.
Well, I had to. They beat the Raiders, who I cursed.
Oh, so
the
this
Chargers
is more
helped
of a,
my curse become real.
This is a you're welcome. I got you. Now, one thing I noticed real quick, maybe this was just a typo, maybe this was on John. Let's just check through yours. Where are the Denver Broncos?
Oh yeah, I took them off.
This
is like a
took them off your power.
I'm not mad at you, but I'm disappointed.
Oh,
you know, they really let me down last week. A couple flaws that have been plaguing this team for the last couple years reared their ugly heads. Horrible offensive game call by Pat Shurmur, the bane of my existence.
Yeah.
Another coordinator, special teams. They give up a big punt return in this game. Doesn't go for a touchdown, but it's 30, 40-plus yard return.
Sizable.
It's like the same shit keeps happening, and they don't know how to change it. Pat Shurmur is a guy who has no feel for a football game. No feel at all. Broncos running the ball effectively. Yes, they get down in this game. They just, as soon as they lose it, they just abandon what's working. And I hate it. I hate it, Tom. So it's a punishment. Not to the players. I love the players. Also, Albert O dropped a pass, a big one.
I saw that a few times where you said that multiple times in that video. It was
my favorite comment was like, people were like, but you didn't mention Albert O dropping a pass. I love that shit.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, so I took him off. My top 4. See, I got the Packers at 5. I think you overranked the Packers just a little bit.
See, I explained
because
this on
I think they are a bit banged up. I think they're vulnerable at this point.
That's why, and that's why I put them on there, because a lot of that's going to depend on Jair Alexander, but it's the fact that they've been so injured and they're still able to beat these teams with very good pass rushes. I think it's a testament to how well everybody is playing. So I listen, I think that the Packers defense played well last week, but they also got a lot of help from Ben Roethlisberger just sucking. So, you know, I can see that they could definitely be within top 5, but they definitely are a banged up football team. Alberto dropped a pass. What?
Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger was the Packers' best player last week.
He was.
And Green Bay got bailed out by that call too. So
definitely helped. It
definitely helped.
All right. So then the other, we have a lot of similarities, but I know that this one is gonna. It's a 6.
That's a lowercase b.
Yeah, it's a 6 ills.
6 ills. Ooh,
Six
if we ever
ills,
start a hip hop group, we're gonna be the 6 ills.
You got the Cardinals. You got the Cardinals up top. Now, I already knew I was gonna fit because I heard it all from the Cardinals fans last week when I didn't have them in my top 10. I had them in my top 10 all these other weeks, but I was like, they didn't play too well against the Jaguars. I know you guys won, but I'm gonna drop you down a little bit. The reason being, and I explain this on my power rankings, and I can understand why the Cardinals are number 1. They're the only undefeated team left in football. But for me, it's right now, the Cardinals have the number 1 offense, the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL. And I believe they definitely have a top 10 defense in points allowed. They're giving up a ton of yards, but in points allowed. The Bills are the number 1 defense in points allowed. It was the Broncos in points allowed. And on top of that, they're the number 2 offense. So I just think that they're a more balanced football team. You have 2 shutouts. Yes, it's not against the greatest quality of opponents, but it's hard to shut out an NFL team. And they did it twice. So like that for me is what puts them over the edge for me, and that's why they're number one. But I want to see like the Bills play like the Cardinals. Like I think that'd be a phenomenal game.
Yeah, so, well, Bills Chiefs this week, right? So
that's gonna be a great game.
That's a big test for Buffalo. Like I can't pick a quarterback between Josh Allen and Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
In terms of saying like I think one is better than the other right now, because Josh Allen was criticized like for the first 2 weeks, like not being fully Josh Allen, but they do all of the same things very well.
Real quick, A-Rod, but that's with 4 voided years. I don't think the Packers are going to do that. They could, but that's if they add 4 voided years, which is going to be rough.
That's
and yes,
6 Ills, baby.
6 Ills.
The greatest boy band hip hop sextuplet you've ever seen.
That's it. But
we dress like a boy band, but we freestyle like a hip hop group.
I want them to be like in a cutout of a 6.
Hell yes.
There's like, but yeah. So in terms of the Sunday night game is going to be incredible. Like, and that is going to be a good testament because people want to see the Bills like play like quality opponents. There you go. Because the Chiefs have the qualities that you want in an offense that's really, really good. Because their offense is still amazing. They're still in the top 5. I think they're a top 5. But on top of that, like you have a really good defense facing a really good offense. And like, let's see what happens. If they can shut down the Chiefs, then yeah, like that's why I put them at number 1. But Cardinals have another divisional game too. I know it's against the 49ers, but you never know.
Yeah, I could not curse the Buffalo Bills.
Because they're your bees.
Like, and again, I thought I needed to have some integrity to the curse. So that's like, I think the Cardinals are the best team in the NFL right now, just ahead of the Bills, because they haven't lost. And they've played games where they could lose. Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers. Very, very possible.
No.
But the Bills and the Cardinals, they're kind of mirroring each other because they're running the ball well. Their QB extends plays better than anybody else in the league. Both Kyler Murray and Josh Allen can throw the ball anywhere on the field.
Yep.
And then you're getting good play from your defense. Like the Cardinals look like they had a great defense week 1, and then it looked like it might be bad, but it's coming around. It's coming around. So yeah. Bills Cardinals. This is you're up at the tops. Cardinals will probably lose this week. There's nothing I could do about it.
Brandon Perna cursing. And in case you don't know the context, every single team that Brandon Perna has put at number 1, bad things have happened. Put the Saints week 1. What happened to them? They got smacked around against the Panthers. Put the Panthers up there. What happened? They lost Christian McCaffrey and their corner that they just drafted. Oh my gosh.
JC Horn.
That's the one. JC
Horn.
Horn.
They lost to the Cowboys.
Yeah, there you go. And they wound up losing to the Cowboys just for good measure. And then last week, you had the Raiders. The Raiders. Everything went wrong. They had a weather delay, and they had all their fans showed up, and they're like, oh man, like we're here just to watch them get their ass kicked by the Chargers.
My favorite, I loved the it was like an observation that I was pissed off I didn't make when I watched your AFC West fans react video.
Yeah.
And you're like, to the Chargers fan, your game was delayed by lightning, and you literally have lightning bolts on your uniforms.
Yeah.
Like, silly, stupid, fun. I was like, dang it, I missed that one. I missed it.
Right there. It was right there. I don't think
I tweeted,
honestly, I think the like people, like fans put him on the hot seat. I never thought he was on the hot seat. I gotta be honest.
People were wondering, but yeah, Cliff back in the cool seat, the cold ass seat. Yeah. Thank you for cursing the Raiders. 6 Ills, Perna. Had we won, being undefeated would have defeated us. Now we can go 9-8, suck at Chiefs. Sorry, I can't read. I had to curse the Raiders. Chargers, they've got a couple big games coming up. Maybe they land in that number 1 spot at some point. Also, I think the Chargers are good. They're staying healthy on defense. They almost blew a lead, but they didn't. So,
and what was the one thing you criticized them about? Not being able to run the ball. What did they do on Monday? They ran the fracking ball.
They did it, and I like Brandon Staley. I think he's a good head coach. So There we go. We made it through an episode, Tom. How about that?
We didn't even. Oh yeah, there's a game on Thursday too. There's.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about it.
Rams Seahawks. Honestly, I think the Seahawks could upset after what I saw on Sunday, but I think the Rams do win. But I would not be shocked if the Seahawks actually upset them.
Yeah. I'm gonna get back on the Rams train and say the Rams. Who's at home?
The Seahawks. That's why I'm saying that I know I don't like that. Like it's a short week coming off a loss. Here's the thing. The Rams, I think, will have a lot more success against the defense of the Seahawks or lack thereof. So I think that they'll be good on that because I said the Seahawks will beat the 49ers just because I think the 49ers, like the Seahawks, could just score more points. And that turned out to be true. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how the Rams respond to some adversity. We'll see. But ladies and gentlemen, this was a great episode. I had a really good time with this one. I know my internet crapped out in the beginning. I apologize. But
it came back strong.
Folks, we appreciate all the donos. We had over 2,000 people over here at some point.
Insane.
It was wild. It was crazy. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, hopefully with a DraftKings sponsorship.
Thumbs up those videos, baby.
Thumbs it up. Let's do it.
Let's screw the algorithm.
That's it. But we'll see you on Friday for another episode of GPS. We'll break down Thursday's game. We'll also preview all the Week 5 games coming up. And, of course, we'll be here tomorrow for Clickbait Sports at 5 p.m. Eastern.
Sorry, Darren, man. Sorry.
Can't do it. You can't do it.
Yeah. Arizona's had a rough go around. Okay, guys, we will see you Friday morning.